Hello, I'm Sam.
Hello, I'm Barry.
We are the guitar playing half of Twin Atlantic, and we're here to do a track by track for our new record, Great Divide. Yes, we are.
Oh yes.
Cool.
So we start, like all good things, at the beginning.
We do. And
A song, track one. Well, it's an intro track. It's called "The Ones That I Love."
yeah, originally written on guitar
Originally, yeah.
with the capo on the 6th fret on acoustic guitar, really, really quietly, because it was really, really late at night and I didn't want to wake anyone up, which is probably why it sounds so emotionally raw and exposed. But through making the record, we realised that we didn't have quite the sort of dramatic openings that we wanted to. We didn't have the sort of opening of the curtains at the theatre sort of feel. And so we transposed, I say we, you, Barry, transposed my guitar chords onto piano, and a legendary piano, the piano that Freddie Mercury used to record Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
So quite a kind of epic start for us.
Track two, we have. I just gave the fingers as well. So track two, that's better. We have "Heart and Soul." Which was the first single we released off the album.
It is. It was the last song that we wrote for the record, and it filled in the gap on the record of what I was trying to call the addictive song. The one that you couldn't quite get out of your head, even if you didn't like it.
The earworm.
Yeah, pretty much. And it was really sort of designed to be quite dry and tight with the guitar sounds. And I guess usually my style of recording is to like layer up guitars, but we'd decided to do it with the vocals in the chorus instead of guitars, just to give something different, because we'd always kind of gone for the 50 guitars sort of approach. And then the way that you came up with your guitar parts was pretty interesting as well. It was
It was. This is one of the tracks we did with the legendary Jackknife Lee in Topanga Canyon in California, and it was the first time we'd recorded with Jackknife, and he decided that I was too comfortable with my instrument. So in a bid to bemuse and baffle me, he would give me guitars and mystery tunings that he would make up on the spot, not let me know what the tuning was, and give me like 3 or 4 minutes with a guitar to try and write something, to try and like make sense of it and come up with parts.
hilarious, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm sure any guitar player out there can imagine.
Yeah. It's like giving a piano, but all the keys are in like completely the wrong
Sounding
order.
like a swan giving birth,
Yeah.
which would probably be laying an egg.
But it was a
Swan laying an egg. So yeah.
But it was tense, a tense experience, but quite exciting and kind of rejuvenating, and it kind of made me kind of get into the pocket where I had to kind of really feel my way around the instrument, and kind of, it was almost as if I was like learning to walk again. It was quite exciting, but there's definitely stuff that came out of that would have never have came out on a guitar that with a tuning that I'd preferred or picked.
Fun fact is, we'll finish on for this song, it came from an old song that we had that opened with a big metal riff and then became our poppiest song of all time. Track 3 is a song called Hold On. It's another one on the record that we did with Jackknife Lee, and it sort of came at a turning point in the sort of records creation, in that we'd been doing it for so long. We recorded for 3 months at the legendary Rockfield Studios in Monmouth in the Welsh Valleys, which is, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it, but if you haven't, it's like pretty much the foundations of British rock music from like the 50s onwards, and it
was the world's first ever residential studio.
Yeah. So I mean, we'd been there for a while and got to a point where we could finally take stock of what we'd done, and that's sort of what this song's beginnings are sort of based on. It's like almost a reflection of the record, and I guess that's where the big sort of expansive epic sounding chorus comes from. I guess it was like because the chorus sounds like a sort of a dawning moment of realization or something sonically.
An epiphany.
Yeah, and again, I guess it's bunched together with Heart and Soul, because it was a similar creative process with your guitar playing and experimenting with sort of more modern tones and sounds. The next track is called Fall Into the Party, and it's our sort of tongue-in-cheek approach at a sort of hip-hop rock song. And it was one of those songs that sort of just kind of came together really easily. Our bass player Ross I think he had like the verse part, and then another part, and I don't know, for whatever reason, it just felt like instantly this was going to be a good song, and it just came together really, really quickly. And the riff was just, the riff sort of came about just through finding the whole thing so funny that we thought, let's put in like a Limp Bizkit-esque slow,
a cheesy
slow riff.
We need this bit of sludge. Bit of sludge.
Yeah, we kind of go. It's a really good song to kind of show Barry and I's sort of difference in style. The big sort of intro sludgy riffs, my sort of thing that I brought to the table, and you've got the whammy and all the soloing and all your crazy ups and downs and stuff.
Yeah. So the contrast.
Yeah, it's written about a New Year's Eve that I spent in Toronto, where I didn't know anybody. Well, I knew some people that I was with, but it was a bit of a contrast to all the other New Year's Eves I'd ever had, and that's what it's about.
The next track on the record is one that we're very fond of, very close to, a song called Brothers and Sisters. And it was the first song, actually the second song that got written for this album. And we'd kind of, this song took a slightly different journey in that we played it live a bunch on a UK tour before we recorded it. And that's always a completely different process with a song, because you already know how people interact with it before, and then it kind of lets you go back and revisit it with like a much clearer thought. And when you go to record it, you know exactly what has to be done with it, rather than second guess the song. Totally. But guitar wise, it was kind of,
it's had a few incarnations. The guitar and this song has had a special relationship. There was a point where it was like one of those, like I was mentioning before, like a 50 guitar Tom Petty style song with like 12 string acoustics, and
I played like loads of slide guitar on it and stuff.
Picture the fact that I played a double neck guitar on this at one point. It got so out of control, and and that's why it's got to the way it sounds now, where we didn't just lean on the guitar. We started getting a few more sort of more modern synth sounds and textures in there. But
it was more strip it back to the essence of the song and what you were kind of singing and talking about.
Very true.
So that the guitars kind of supported that instead of taking over. So
the next song on the record is called Oceans, and it's quite an emotional song. It would be foolish not to recognise that. It had quite a cool sort of incarnation in that the previously mentioned piano from the Bohemian Rhapsody recordings was kind of left set up in the live room at Rockfield, and I had all this sort of as anyone else does, all this sort of personal stuff going on when we were away recording, and a bit of a sort of roller coaster of emotions, being away from the people that you love and care about, but you're deeply rooted in your whole life's work and passion, and I guess legacy in a way, if you're recording something permanently. And it's kind of an interesting cocktail, and that's the sort of song that came from that. And it's I definitely feel like it was a different experience writing that song than any other that I've ever been a part of, and I think it really comes across to most people that have listened to it anyway. So yeah, one of my favourites for that reason. And we kept it really sort of stripped back, and I'm trying to remember what guitar I used to record this. I think it was Ross's dad, our bass player Ross, his dad made a Martin acoustic.
Yeah.
He bought all the parts and like clamped it all. I remember going round to his house when I was like 13 or 14, and he was clamping it all and gluing it by hand, and it's really cool that we got to take that guy who's pretty much the inspiration for, I know, Ross and I's guitar playing, and use his guitar in such an important song on the record.
So in at number 7 on the track listing, we have the Tom
Heavy.
The Tom Heavy, yeah. the Tom led, Tom Heavy, I Am an Animal.
Very good pun there, but Tom led, Tom Heavy. I like it. Yeah, this is a bit of a sort of, I suppose like a bit of a flashpoint song for our band, in that it was the moment that we sort of once and for all just let our hair down and stopped trying so hard to like make something sound fun and just actually have fun recording something. And it's actually quite a literal song, although it sounds like the made up sort of ramblings of a madman. It's things that actually happened in the band when we were touring on the last record. And I think the cool thing is that the way I'm playing guitar in it is it's quite a sort of standard indie rock and roll format, but you really brought the song to life because it was experiences that you were a part of, and you obviously knew exactly what I was getting at, and it was essentially the whole song was making fun of being in a band, and Barry's lead part sort of makes the whole song, I think, for me. I remember hearing it for the first time when you came up with it. It was amazing.
Well, I guess my job was kind of to highlight the madness that you're talking about in the song. I've actually got quite a funny guitar story with this song. Was it when we went to record it, Gil Norton, who we worked with in Rockfield, and Dan Austin as engineer, because Gil kept on talking about how this was a glam song, and I agreed with him. My dad listened to loads and loads of T-Rex when I was younger, so I had my fair share of glam about the house. But Gil decided that regardless of how it sounded, I had this red Strat that he decided looked like such a glam guitar that I was only allowed to play that on this song.
It is such a shiny guitar, man. It is.
So that was all over this one. Yeah.
That makes sense. It's so bright sounding, that guitar.
I know.
Yeah. The next song on the record is called Be a Kid, and it's the only song that very literally talks about the theme of the record, and I suppose that's why we put it sort of in the middle as a sort of keystone placement. And I'm not sure how many bands would attempt the double guitar solo, especially with completely nearly polar opposite styles of of solo. And I guess it's a sort of rock opera song that even plays into the sort of journey of the music, even plays into the theme of the record and the name of the song. Or it sounds really innocent and childlike at the start, and then turns into this sort of jaded monster by the end. It was we almost dip in and out of like 3 or 4 different styles of rock music in it, and I think we're really quite proud of I guess
it was very difficult
having those building blocks all in the one thing.
Definitely, it was a more difficult song to pull off in terms of getting it right and getting the right elements in the right places, and it's a bit of a jigsaw, kind of making sure that the emotion in the song was supported musically and guitar wise in the right places. But we got there in the end, and I think that's why we're so proud of this one.
It actually used to sound so like a Pixies song.
Yeah,
like embarrassingly grunge. Like we just the major chord of D sorted us out. We changed a chord out, and the whole song flourished and made sense. So yeah, hopefully you never hear it in its original format. The next song on the record is called Cellmate, and
This is a fun one to play.
Yeah, it's fun because it's easily our heaviest riff on the record, and I guess it's a real sort of tip of the cap to our sort of foundations, and the main reason why I guess all of us in the band, not just us two guitar players, love rock music is like 90s, you know, grungy,
Nirvana,
dominated, yeah,
Blood Honey, all that kind of stuff.
and even like Rage Against the Machine, it's all the loud, quiet dynamic and stuff comes into play in this song, but we kind of tried to put our own spin on it by having our exceptionally melodic attributes added in there, and it's the first time that Barry's ever stepped up to the plate and accepted that he is a lead guitarist who can hit a solo, a real solo in the middle eight.
I refused up until very recently. That even the parts that I played previously that were kind of solos, I would always say
Only solos.
I would say they're not solos, they're licks. they're just guitar licks. But yeah, on this one I kind of admitted defeat and thought, why not? So
Good solo,
it's a wah solo. It's kind of outrageous. You really shouldn't be allowed to do that, but it's good fun. But I think the song guitar-wise from bass through to, you know, the big riff that Sam plays with me kind of putting squeals in between and stuff. It's just really like aggressive and exciting and fun, and it's definitely going to pick up the live set, I think. Definitely. I want to see lots of people bouncing.
The next song is called Rest in Pieces, and it started from a joke. We stayed in this sort of punk commune it was in Vienna on the last album's touring cycle, and we all stayed over in this sort of, the room couldn't have been much more than like 5 meters by 5 meters. Like a square room. It was so small.
Taller than it was wide. It had like triple or quadruple high bunk beds, but stacked all the way up.
Basically every band that ever played there had been like writing on all the walls, and there was this massive thing that said "Rest in Pieces, bitches." And our drummer Craig found it so funny and like stuck in his head for so long that he was like, "Oh, we need to have a song on the next record called that." So that was the starting point. And then came this like highly emotional acoustic driven song from that. And I guess on this record we were trying to sort of fill in a few blanks that we didn't really have in our arsenal in our live set, and that's why we started sort of experimenting with more digital and programmed sounds, just as a different flavour to kind of challenge us and challenge all the people that were already listening and hopefully will listen to this record. But we tried to put some elements of like I guess like natural guitar sounds in there as well, and I went in with the guitar and just got feedback for like 15-20 minutes. Found this total weird sweet spot in the live room where there was like 5 different amps that were on and all pointing at different pickups at different angles and stuff, and we used sections of that as like samples, and so it sounds like sort of horrible synthy strings, but it's actually guitar feedback. Yeah, painstaking process.
Worth it.
Yeah,
worth it. The next track, I don't know why I slapped the knees for the next track is called Actions That Echo, and it's a bit more of a kind of 4 to the floor rock song again, but the rhythms in it are pretty interesting. Guitar wise, it's not, well, the drums are kind of 4 to the floor, but it's you know, all the rhythms have all got pushes on them and stuff, but it's again, it's a really fun song to play. Guitar wise, it's maybe straighter forward, and I guess I had not had problems recording parts for this, but I had loads and loads of parts, nothing was working, and eventually I took inspiration from like Kevin Shields and My Bloody Valentine to put in these big, huge, silly pitch bends in the chorus. And it was more anything just out of frustration that I did it. And I thought, oh fuck, that sounds kind of cool. How about we just keep doing that?
Yeah.
And you just get to like rock out in it, really.
I was like, this is me blatantly showing love for like the Foo Fighters and 100 Reasons and bands that just know how to like make guitar sound amazing in a rhythmical way.
Yeah. Why Won't We Change is the next track.
The final track.
The final track, the closer.
The closer.
The curtain dropper.
It's Why Won't We Change? ? Very poignant. It leaves you.
If in France you would say, why won't we change?
You would, and it's. I guess it's very purposely placed there to sort of. I don't know. It's in. I guess it's like our favourite types of films are the ones where you at the end you've got no idea what's going on or what happened or what was the ending there and stuff like that. And I guess that was the sort of thought process. And I suppose it's probably the most uplifting song, like in a sort of spiritual or soulful sounding way. And it was originally started as a joke about 4 or 5 years ago in our practice room. And I guess on review we were like, shit, that's actually kind of quite good, but that's why it didn't sort of rear its head for so long. I don't know what I was thinking about using global warming as a metaphor for human emotions, but yeah, that's what came about, and it's one of the few songs that Barry you don't really play too much until the big sort of mid-late moment.
Yeah,
you sort of like held back on the song a lot more.
Well, up until that point, I've when that comes in, there's actually guitar-wise quite a cool thing that me and Dan Austin did at Rockfield, which was, I don't know if you know this actually.
I don't know, this is news to me.
I wanted to have some sort of background noise that was really interesting, so we wanted to have really bouncy chords, so we actually got 2 stereo delays, split my guitar signal into the 2 stereo delays, and then each of them were going into 2 cabinets each.
Oh, right.
So we had stereo delays bouncing about on 4 different cabinets.
What, that big lead part?
No. See, there's like a background, you see the chimey thing that comes in?
Oh, right, yeah.
So that's bouncing about on 4 different cabs.
Ah, right.
But to listen to just that soloed in the control room, even though it's really low in the mix.
Oh, the tink.
Right, that was really good fun to play a bit of a mission to get it to sound good, but when it came together, that was pretty cool. But yeah, it's just kind of like you're saying, the song's quite impactful lyrically, and I guess the reason I didn't really play until a certain point was just to let what Sam was saying sink in and not kind of take any, like let the focus be on the song, and then when the song needs support, come in with some silly guitar playing.
It's taken us 7 years to learn that that's an option, by the way. So anyone that's just out there learning to be the lead guitarist in a band, don't worry, it took us 7 years to learn that you can not play.
Space is sometimes the most important thing that you can give a song. Zen.